Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another beer review. Stoutmas is coming to a close. We've got, what, 3 days left? And I'm thinking this one's going to be quite a tasty beverage from AleSmith Brewing. This is the 2016 vintage of barrel-aged Speedway Stout with Vietnamese coffee. I feel like this has always been like the most sought after variant of Speedway. Everyone says the Vietnamese coffee is awesome. I've had this beer on draft a couple times over the years, and I've really enjoyed it. I've always had it fresh though. I've never had it aged. So this is per the label with this little barrel, 2016 vintage. So 2 years plus in the bottle. So let's get into this one, shall we? I picked this one up a couple years ago and I never drank it, so I figured, you know what better time than Stoutmas? I mean, this beer gets super high ratings. It's been reviewed on YouTube a couple times, and people really like it, so I'm guessing this is going to be fire. Don't have AleSmith glassware, so we will be using our Horus glassware. This is actually pretty light. 13, what's the ABV on this guy? 12%. Alcohol by volume. We reviewed Double Barrel Speedway a couple weeks ago. That beer was good. It just was really sweet. It was aged in port wine barrels with bourbon barrels, and they blend them. I just thought it was super sweet, so it wasn't my favorite, but I've got high hopes for this one. It poured pretty light, but it's pitch black in the glass. Finger of like that off-white, or sorry, off-white, that mocha kind of khaki head. It's pretty like marshmallowy. It's lots of really tiny packed bubbles, but looks killer in that Horus glassware. I know they say to drink coffee beers fresh, but such is life with stouts with me. I get them and I put them in a wine fridge and I forget about them, so shove our nose in this one. Wow, this is super like fudgy. There's a lot of vanilla. It's pretty oaky too, like there's this woody thing to it. There's even like a little bit of, it's like that kind of desserty, Eric used to say creme brulee, kind of like that burnt kind of sugar, even like a little bit of like toasted marshmallowy thing. But tons of chocolate. There's a little bit of like a sweet note. I'm guessing it's like the coffee that they use, the Vietnamese coffee. This doesn't smell like a coffee beer when you put your nose in it, but I've talked about like when I drink coffee beer, sometimes I get like a sweet kind of note from that, and I think that's from the coffee. I think that's what I'm smelling in this. You get a little bit of barrel, like there's a little tiny bit of like bourbon heat as far as that goes, but it's super oaky. I love that. And super fudgy, so not much else to say about it. Let's taste it. Cheers. That's delicious. That little bit of fruitiness that I was smelling on the nose definitely carries over to the taste. It's like kind of middle of your tongue to the finish. It's like this dark fruity kind of a thing, and it's got to come from the coffee. Up front though, it's really chocolatey, fudgy, but as it goes across your tongue, you get a little bit of the bourbon heat. There's that vanilla, I'm guessing from the barrels, that gives it like a little bit of sweetness. This doesn't finish like bitter at all. I've talked about with coffee beers, sometimes the beers will like finish really intense and bitter. I mean, sometimes you can get crazy to where it's like that burnt kind of like coffee roast. This doesn't have that. It goes across your tongue, and it doesn't like dig in, but it gives you like a little bit of like that kind of coffee bitterness. And it's like super like oaky, woody, like what I've talked about, like putting, when you have a toothpick and you put it on your tongue and you get like that dry kind of woody taste, that's there on the finish of this. This is really chocolatey though. I really like it. It doesn't go crazy sweet though like the Double Barrel Speedway did. There's a little bit of warmth in my chest as that goes down, but this doesn't drink like a huge 12% beer. You're not tasting it going, oh, that's boozy AF. Kind of like how the barrel-aged Old Rasputin was. It was just a booze bomb. Not like that at all. So it hides the 12% really good. The mouthfeel in this one, it's not chewy. It's not, I wish it was like super chewy just because I like that in big ass Imperial Stouts, especially barrel-aged ones, but this is really good. I think when I've had barrel-aged Vietnamese when it was fresh. It was, I remember it being like a little warm. This is not warm at all. But I will say, other than like the fruity notes that you're getting, it doesn't taste like a coffee beer. It just tastes like an awesome barrel-aged imperial stout. So obviously, drink these fresh. You don't want to sell our own coffee fades. We've talked about it. I like this though. I feel like the reactions I've seen from people who've reviewed this and the check-ins, like people used to put this beer at like upper echelon, like A+s, hundreds, all that stuff. I don't think it's that for me. I think it's a world-class stout. I like the chocolate. The chocolate that you get with this, and there's that vanilla sweetness, but I wish it was more intense, and that could just be from there being some age on it. So I definitely wish like it was chewier, but I mean, you start nitpicking when you talk about that with stouts. This is fire. It's really, really good. I mean, like 98. Good stuff. So that's a 2016 vintage of barrel-aged Vietnamese Speedway Stout. If you guys have had it, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. A couple days until Christmas. We're almost done solo doming stouts. It's been fun. I've enjoyed this a lot. So that's it. I'm out of here, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. Cheers.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.